Okay, guten Abend, so liebe Zuschauer, Freunde von Jeet.tv. Wir werden die Sendung heute auf Deutsch und Englisch. Magst du auch dazu sitzen? Bitte. Gestern hatten wir Portugiesisch und Deutsch. Die letzten Zeiten haben wir viele internationale Sendungen. Es ist mir eine große Ehre, John Virapen, Dr. John Virapen, dass du hier bist. I am very happy that you are here.
Okay, good. Thank you for inviting me.
And Jeet.tv, in the last 2 years, was working very intensively for presenting all new people who can give their own contribution to the world,
Okay.
who are feeling with their own heart,
Yeah.
who are not in possession from anything,
Yes,
huh?
yes, yes.
who like the free spirit, who like the free thinking, who like love, who like the heart, like to dance and singing,
Good.
and to be in with this heart in ja. So, Jeet.tv die letzten 2 Jahre täglich Menschen vorgestellt, die einfach die Freiheit lieben, die das Leben lieben, die die Erde lieben, alle Menschen, die einfach den eigenen Weg gehen und die einfach auch den Mut haben, das zu sein, was sie sind. Und das ist einfach das, was die Erde braucht in dieser Zeit, in dieser schwierigen Zeit, wo wir aber große Chancen haben. So, ich sehe keine Krise, ich sehe jetzt große Chancen für uns, neue Wege zu gehen, neue Türen zu öffnen, vielleicht alle Fenster und Türen zu öffnen. For me, it's not a time for crisis, for me it's time for chance, new chance.
Okay.
We can open new door, maybe we can open the door, the window, and all what is
So
possible.
we need change.
Yes.
With change, all of what you're saying can happen. But you and I can't do it alone. We need all you guys out there. They have to be part of it.
Für den Wechsel, das können wir nicht zu zweit machen, sondern wir brauchen euch, denn wir möchten den Wechsel einfach auch zusammen gestalten.
Good.
Okay, I will translate, maybe sometime. Und vielleicht für die Zuschauer, für Anrufe, vielleicht später in den zweiten Teil der Sendung, so maybe now you can present your work and later the people they can phone, they can ask questions, they can give contribution. Ne?
Sure.
Okay, heute das Programm, wir haben eben danach noch Andreas Eisen vom Zeitwechselkongress, dann haben wir Bruno Württemberger aus der Schweiz, dann haben wir aus Polen Meister Juge Shen, das ist ein anderes Kanal, das heißt, wir haben Zeit einfach für diese Sendung, schaut einfach im TV-Programm und informiert euch und die entsprechenden Links könnt ihr einfach auch klicken. Okay, ich bin natürlich noch ein bisschen unsicher, weil ich sehr viel Respekt von Dr. John Virapen habe, der einfach auch den Mut gehabt hat, seine Wege zu gehen. I am a little bit shy because I am a lot of respect, a lot of admiring.
Oh.
Yeah, I like to say this because the most of the people, they don't have the courage to live their life. No? And I want to appreciate, this is because I'm doing Jeet.tv, to appreciate all the people and to say thank you, because it's for me also great, can the people, they go their way.
Well, when I first saw your TV program, which was not too long ago, I liked what I saw. And that makes me even more happy to be here and talk to your audience and talk with you about various issues. And I hope that we can continue this, because what I have to say is not going to finish on this program. And I hope you're ready to take me on to continue the story, so to speak.
Als das Programm von Jeet.tv gesehen hat, das hat ihm einfach auch gut gefallen. Und für die Themen, die wir heute Abend auch starten möchten, natürlich brauchen wir viel Zeit und wir werden öfter einfach auch hier erscheinen im Bildschirm und ihr werdet einfach auch die Themen jetzt spüren, wie wichtig sie sind.
First, let me tell you a little bit about me and a little bit about what I've been through. And I know a lot of people out there, if you're watching, you want to hear a little bit about the Schweinegrippe.
Also erstmal magst du nicht helfen zu übersetzen. Okay, erstmal möchte ich etwas über mich sagen, dann über meine Arbeit und dann etwas über die Schweinegrippe.
Well, you might want to know where I come from. I'm not German, but I live in Germany. I have a German wife, and my little boy is 5 years old. He's half German.
Ich habe deutsche Frau und 2 Kinder. Ich lebe in Deutschland.
Ein Kind.
Ein Kind?
Yeah. My other children, they live in Sweden because I'm a Swedish national.
Okay, die anderen 2 Kinder leben in Schweden, hatten eine schwedische Nationalität.
So I have Swedish children and I have a German one. Anyway, I retired some years ago because I've been working in the pharmaceutical industry for, well, if you count the years that I've done that now, it's almost 40 years.
Ich habe in der Pharmaindustrie für ca. 40 Jahre gearbeitet.
And it started in Sweden. I had a career. I worked, I started as a salesman in 1968. And I worked with several different companies because I needed to get the experience in all the different sections of the pharma industry.
So, ich habe mit 18 angefangen da zu arbeiten im Bereich Verkauf und ich habe mit vielen unterschiedlichen Firmen gearbeitet, um einfach zu erfahren, was es alles gibt.
I eventually in my career reached the level which was the top level in Sweden. I was the general manager for the company, a company called Eli Lilly and Company, American, and well, then things happened. Anyway, I was very angry one day, 5 years ago. I was enjoying my stay in Germany, I'm still enjoying it, but I was playing golf and I was relaxing with my family at home and just being what a Rentner, a pensioner is supposed to do, just take it easy.
So, er hat in der höchsten Ebene gearbeitet, General Management, und dann war ich in Deutschland, dann habe ich mich geärgert, ich war mit meiner Familie.
I was blessed, or me and my wife were blessed with a little boy. He's 5 years old now. And when this boy was 6 months old, a doctor here in Germany decided that despite the fact that he's very healthy, nothing wrong with him, wanted to give him, as they call it in German, the Impfcocktail for Maßen. Now, that kind of thought does not fit with my kind of thought.
This is Maßen.
Maßen is measles, yeah. So, my wife confronted the doctor and said, look, this boy is not going to get any vaccination because my husband has already said if you want to vaccinate him or give him any medication whatsoever, you must talk to him. The doctor took upon herself to throw my wife out of the clinic and my boy, and said, we only treat vaccinated children in this clinic. Now I tell you something, if I had been there, I wouldn't be here today. But anyway, I researched the doctor and found that together with the pharma company and together with some politicians, they're trying to make mandatory vaccinations in Germany. And what is going on now, I'm not going to go into too much detail, I will do that later. But what is going on right now is now known to be one of the biggest scams of the 20th century in the world. I mean, it's not only German, all over.
Okay, die Geschichte hat so angefangen in der Klinik. Mein 5-jähriges Kind sollte geimpft werden und sollte einen Cocktail von Impfungen bekommen. Und meine Frau, also seine Frau, hat gesagt einfach, nein, ich möchte erstmal meinen Mann fragen. Natürlich, da fingen einfach auch alle Probleme an. Und die Klinik hat sich dann er hat sich geweigert, die Impfung zu machen. Und die Klinik hat sich geweigert, das Kind zu behandeln, weil er einfach auch nicht geimpft war. Und da fing einfach auch die Geschichte an.
Now, after that, my old memory came back. And I started remembering everything I did when working in this drug industry.
Dann ist eben in diesem Moment meine Erinnerung gekommen für alles, was ich in der Pharmaindustrie einfach auch gemacht habe.
And these are not easy things, they're horrible things. I have done corruption in the pharma industry from the very first time I started as a salesman. And then there were little things in the corruption calendar, but as I got into higher positions, the corruption became worse.
Und ich mich eben daran erinnert, an die korrupte Art, wie ich gearbeitet habe in diesem Betriebe. Und ja, von Beginn an habe ich plötzlich angefangen zu sehen, was ich einfach auch gemacht habe.
So I decided to write a book. So I wrote a criminal novel here in Germany, in German. And then after that, there was a small criminal novel, fictional. I started getting emails and phone calls from people all over Germany, and they say, well, if you know all of this, why don't you tell the truth? So here's the truth. This book.
So, dann habe ich angefangen, ein Buch zu schreiben. Das ist das Buch Nebenwirkung Tod. Wir blenden einfach auch gleich den Titel.
Habe ich schon.
Okay. Ich blende das Buch jetzt ein. Ich mach's noch.
Mhm. Im Chat steht's.
Now, right now, this book is a so-called bestseller here in Germany, in the German-speaking countries. But it's also published in Sweden. Now, as we speak, it's being published in Holland, in Dutch, and there's an English version out there that looks exactly the same. But it's an e-book. You can only download that book, buy it, download and read on your computer. Hopefully the hard copy will come later when I find a trustworthy publisher to do that. But in the meantime, you can get it at my name, JohnVirapen.com. You go to johnvirapen.com and you will be able to buy and download the book. Now, at the same time, when you buy that book, the English version, the e-book I'm talking about, when you buy that book, you will be donating $2 that will go to a children's charity that I will decide with some colleagues later. But remember, I will donate $2 from the sale of each book to a children's charity later on. Now, the book is here in Germany, and like I said, it's labeled a bestseller. And it tells you everything of the 35 years that I have worked in the industry at the international level and at the executive level. I know everything these people do. If one of their employees spits, I will know he spit. I still have my friends in the business, even though I'm retired, and they tell me what's going on, because many of them who would like to speak cannot do so because they've been either bought by the industry, or they have contracts or non-disclosure contracts. So they tell me what's going on inside because I'm not there right now. But I know enough anyways to identify what they're doing with their crooked ways. Take the swine flu, for example. Why is it that bureaucrats, governments, have to make decisions about your life, but children's lives? They haven't been able to prove anything regarding these new vaccines that are coming out. Oh, there's one thing that they've proven to me. They make a hell of a lot of money. You take one company in England, Glaxo, they have just brought out 44 million doses of this swine flu. Swine flu. I don't know where they got the name from, but it has nothing to do with the swine. Remember, this is a human thing. Anyway, 44 million doses were bought by the British government. Glaxo charges them somewhere between $10 and $11 for every shot. You can do the mathematics later. It's a lot of money. There's a lot of hype around this vaccination thing. The governments are involved in America, in Great Britain, and in Germany. You've read the recent hype in the press about specific vaccines for specific people. If it's a vaccine for the people, then give the people all the same thing. Don't let ministers have one that's better than the other one. What is this? It's your money paying for it. Now, I hope Jeet here will invite me again to speak to you, because there's so many things I need to talk to you about. And I will elaborate a little bit more on the swine flu vaccine. But let me tell you a little bit about the pharma industry. I don't think you really know what is going on. You wouldn't know because your press and the media, the mainstream media, they don't tell you everything. And if they do tell you something, they lie. And I can prove it. Remember, everything I tell you here right now, I can prove it. It's not a lie. I don't tell lies. And these are not conspiracy theories like some people would want to comment. as they have done on the internet. I don't deal with conspiracy theories. I have only the fact to tell you. Now, the pharma companies, they go out and tell you, we are doing research. We're spending billions of dollars, and we are doing it for the health and to care for the humanity. Now, what you don't know is they don't give a damn about you. They only care about their pockets. Because the drugs that they bring out only treat the symptoms and not the disease. So, lucrative patients like diabetics, Parkinson's disease, rheumatoid arthritis, and so forth, these are the main patients that are targeted by the pharma industry. Now, when I started talking after my boy almost got vaccinated, was the fact that the pharma companies started giving children psycho pills. They invented a disease called ADHD. But trust me, ADHD is just 4 letters. But it's not a disease. So how dare they come with a drug like that, and not one, there are a whole bunch of them, to give to children, because that will make them sit quiet in school. They're not going to throw mud at the teacher or throw balls in the windows or whatever. They don't need psycho drugs for that. And as long as I'm alive, I'm going to fight them. I don't want to, let me make this very clear. I don't want to bring the pharma companies down or stop them. We need some of the good things, which are not many, but we need them. In the area of surgery, for example, all the heart things that they have brought out are good. Orthopedic surgery, the hip replacement and things like that, it's good. It's the drugs. The drugs, first of all, most of them are useless. And all of them give side effects. Now, they tell you that this is not so. But they don't tell you that when they found the side effects on these drugs in their clinical evaluation, they then closed the study and hid the results. So neither you nor the authorities gets to see them. The pharma companies by law is not required to show you data from their clinical research. It's very funny. But I believe that there should be more regulation. I would like to see more transparency from these companies. And that's going to be a difficult task because the bureaucrats, the authorities, the researchers, the media, and everyone else is connected to make sure that you don't know what you're getting. Now let me take one example. recently several companies in the United States, big ones, like Eli Lilly and Company, Pfizer, and now recently Wyatt, Novo Nordisk. Now I've worked for two of those companies, Lilly and Novo Nordisk. I know how they perform. I know how they strategize. Now, recently Eli Lilly and Company was fined by the justice system in America $1.4 billion because they were selling a drug called Zyprexa. I'm sure you know it's here in Germany also. They were selling it off-label. Off-label means they sell it for an indication or a sickness that it was not approved for. Now this suddenly came out of the blue a few months ago when they fined this company because they found them also suppressing clinical information that showed the side effects of this drug. I've asked where that money goes. And up to today, nobody can tell me where that money is going. And this is the first time that this company, believe me, I know them well, first time they have agreed to pay a fine like that. Normally they don't like to lose in court. Then a couple of months ago, Pfizer was fined $2.5 billion for the same sort of reasons. Novo Nordisk a few years ago was fined because they were giving kickbacks to agents in the Middle East to buy their insulin. Now, with all these companies doing and performing like that, what do you think? Should you trust them? Should you trust your doctor? If you know your doctor very well, I would imagine it's wise to trust him if he's been good to you. But in today's healthcare, you hardly get to see a doctor on time, let alone get to know him. Because these doctors have a quota. They must get their 40 or 50 patients a day. And they must work according to the budget that they get. Now, it has been proven 2 years ago that companies in Germany were paying the doctors, say like 50 euros per prescription that they write. That is corruption. Now all I've told you here about these companies and the fines they've had and the corruption that they've been involved in, their products have also created enormous amounts of side effects that have given people other sicknesses to worry about. For example, Zyprexa. Many people got diabetes from that as a side effect. Lilly is the largest insulin producer, along with Novo Nordisk, in the world. So first you give them this tablet, they get diabetes, then they have to take another medication, insulin. Now, along with other side effects that many of these drugs have given to the patient, they still continue to sell them. What do the authorities and the bureaucrats do? They stick a little black label that no one can hardly read, and they say, "Oh, go home and try to fix your drug and come back," and still continue to sell still a whole bunch of people are affected or even die. Why does this happen? That's because the bureaucrats, the governments, them people running around in Congress in America, for example, they are all corrupt. That corruption is costing you very, very much. So, without going into much more detail, which I will do as we move along on Jeet.tv, I would like you to think the only way this can be stopped is if you, the people out there, raise your awareness of what is going on. Take your life as your responsibility, not anyone else's. You have to know what you feel. Ask questions. Don't take for granted what the doctor tells you. Most of the time, they don't know what they're telling you. So, be careful. Next time I come back, I will tell you about what is going on in the alternative medicine business, which the pharma companies are trying to get hold of, because that's big business. Many of these companies in the alternative medicine are going to go out of business. Bureaucrats are at work here. So perhaps in January next year, when you go out to buy your vitamins, you might have to go to your doctor to get a prescription, because it's going to be made by a chemical factory. It's cheaper, you know. It's cheaper to buy, to make chemically, than it is to get the vitamins from the plants or whatever. So having said all this, let me just say thank you for listening, or thank you for looking, and I hope Jeet will invite me again as often as it takes for me to tell you the whole story. So, until next time, be good. Think about your medication before you use them. Okay, Jeet. I leave this to you. I hope they understand, and if anyone has any questions, they can reach me by either calling or email you, or and I'll try to answer as best as I can.
Okay, wir werden das dann einfach auch übersetzen. Ich habe Texte einfach in den Chat einfach auch reingeschrieben.